Welcome back to Quirkless Gaming, where we don't have quirks of our own, but that doesn't stop us from going plus ultra. My name is Harold, and we are back with another Yu-Gi-Oh video. Today, we are doing a Thunder Dragon deck build deck profile. People say Thunder Dragons are dead. They're dead in the water, but that's not true. I actually took this deck to locals just for fun and got 7th out of 30 players. I went 3-1-1. 3-1-1. Let's go. And I'm not gonna talk too much. I'm actually gonna just go ahead and jump right into it. So 40 cards right here. I'll go over the extra deck. I'll go over the side deck. And first things first, we're going to jump into it with 3 Aloof Pine. Definitely 3 Aloof Pine. What Aloof Pine does is when this card is normal summoned, you can banish 1 monster from your hand and then banish 1 monster from your deck with the same type as that monster. And then if this card is destroyed by battle, or if this card is in its opponent's possession, is destroyed by an opponent's card effect, you can target one of your banished monsters and add it to your hand, but you can only use each of the effects once per turn. So definitely running 3 of these. Especially after the ban that happened, Thunder Dragons is actually fairly cheap right now. It's not very expensive. Each card is maybe like $1 or $2. Just because they banned Colossus, it completely dropped all the other cards. So if you're getting back into the competitive game or you're just getting into Yu-Gi-Oh in general, this is actually a really fun deck, and it's not that hard to learn it. When I first started playing this deck, I was really confused. I was pretty new to the game, and I did not know what was going on. But this deck does a lot with banish cards and cards in your graveyard. And there's a lot of combinations you can do, a lot of combinations that you can do to bring out your boss monster, which is Titan. The next card I'm going to go over is 2 Batteryman Solar. This card is so cool. So what it does is if this card is normal summoned, special summoned, if this card is normal summoned or special summoned, you can send 1 Thunder monster from your deck to your graveyard. If a Thunder monster is normal or summoned while this card is on the field, you can special summon 1 Batteryman token, and then that pretty much just gives you another body on the field to link off to. Definitely running 2 of those, which is pretty awesome. Next card I'm running is going to be 3 Thunder Dragon Matrix. Its effects, it's quick effect. You can discard this card, then target 1 Thunder monster you control and it gains 500 attack. And if this card is banished or sent to the field to the graveyard, you can add 1 Thunder Dragon Matrix from your deck to your hand. If you can only use its effect per turn only once that turn, which is totally fine. The reason why I run 3 of these is once I get Titan on the field, there's a lot of combos that I can do, a lot of things that I can do, and I'll definitely show you those here later in the video. So that is 3 Matrix. All right, now actually into the Thunder Dragon core. We are doing 3 darks, Thunder Dragon darks, and what this bad boy does is another quick effect here. You can discard this card and add itself from your deck to the hand, and this card is banished or sent from the field to the graveyard. You can add 1 Thunder Dragon card from your deck to your hand, not Thunder Dragon monster, it's Thunder Dragon card. And that is amazing because then you can bring some spell cards, a Thunder Dragon spell card, to bring out Colossus, and that thing is broken. So definitely running 3 of those. You're definitely gonna run 3 of each Thunder Dragon monster for sure. And then we got boom, boom, 3 Thunder Dragon Hawks. So you can discard this card to special summon 1 of your Thunder Dragon monsters that is banished or in your graveyard. So if I were to banish one of these 2, I can discard it, bring it right back. It's freaking awesome. And if this card is banished or sent from the field to the graveyard, you can shuffle any number of cards from your hand into the deck, then draw the same number of cards. So if you banish this card instead, and your hand is absolute garbage, go ahead and just figure out a way to banish it, and I can definitely explain it later in the video, or if you want me to drop another video explaining it, I most certainly can. And then boom, mulligan. Just I discard 3 cards, or I shovel back 3 cards, and I draw 3 more. It's pretty awesome. I love Hawk. I love seeing Hawk. And then, of course, we have, boom, 3 Thunder Dragon Roars. You can discard this card and add to your hand one of your Thunder Dragon cards that is banished or in your graveyard. I typically like discard this to add Thunder Dragon Hawk, and again, it's saying one of your Thunder Dragon cards that is banished, not Thunder Dragon monster. So if you have a Thunder Dragon spell card, definitely pop that back into your hand too. Bring out another Titan. If this card is banished from the field, you can special summon one Thunder Dragon monster in your deck in defense position, or if it's banished as well, but return it to your hand during the end phase. You can only use one of these effects per turn, only once that turn. But dude, you're bringing another body on the field to link it out is always awesome. So that right there is the main core. We still have a couple more monsters of Thunder Dragons here. Just gonna organize this. All right, now the OG. We got 3 Thunder Dragons. You can discard this card and add up to 2 Thunder Dragons from your deck to your hand. I have one of these bad boys. Pop, add, pop, add. Now I have 2 Thunder Dragons in my graveyard, and I've used 2 Thunder Dragon hand effects, and I'll explain why that's so important here in a second. Now, into the 2 more monsters, or 3 more monsters that I use in my main deck is only one Thunder Dragon Duo. And what Thunder Dragon Duo does, it's a long one, but it cannot be normal summoned or set. Must be special summoned from your hand by banishing 1 light or 1 dark from your graveyard, which is so cool because we have Thunder Dragon, OG Thunder Dragon, who's a light, and we have Hawk, who's a light. So banish one of those, and then any dark, like obviously Thunder Dragon Dark is a dark, and then Thunder Dragon Roar is a dark. And once those are banished, if it wasn't banished this turn as well, like the same card, you can activate its effects and just combo off. Just keep doing those combos and bring out even better monsters, or make a board that the other person can't break. And then once per turn, if a monster effect is activated in the hand, which most of these cards do, this card gains 300 attack until the end of the turn, which is awesome. And I actually really enjoy this card. Enjoy playing it. Have a 28 to 3100 beater on the board, and most people can't get around it into today's meta, which is pretty awesome. I am also playing one BLS Envoy of the Beginning, and what this bad boy does is also a banishing type monster to summon it. So it cannot be normal or set, must be first special summoned from your hand by banishing 1 light and 1 dark monster from your graveyard. Once per turn, you can activate one of these effects. Dude, target 1 monster on the field, banish it. This card cannot attack for the rest of the turn it's activated. Its effect. And if this card attacks or destroys opponent's monster by battle, it can make a 2nd attack in a row. Dude, I love this card. And this card just got reprinted in the new structure deck in the video we just dropped earlier this week, I guess. Shaddoll structure deck opening. Go check it out. So definitely one of those. And of course, I'm running one Effect Veiler. An Effect Veiler is a hand trap. So during your opponent's main phase, quick effect, you can send this card from your hand to the graveyard, then target 1 effect monster your opponent controls and negate the effects of the face-up monster. So if they summon a monster and they're like, oh, effect, I'm going to go ahead and use this card to do blah, 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 whatever. Psych, quick effect, negate it. Good luck, buddy. Have fun. Have a good time. All right, that's pretty much it for my monster cards right there. Now let's get into the spells. So I actually have quite a few spell cards. It's definitely a heavy spell card deck. So there are some cards out there that can really mess this deck up. But if I can have Titan on the field before they can mess me up, I can just pop those cards anyways, and I'll explain that here in a second. So for sure, running 3 Thunder Dragon Fusion. And Thunder Dragon Fusion brings out my Titan. So what this card does is fusion summon 1 Thunder Fusion monster from your extra deck by shuffling the fusion materials listed on it into the deck from among the cards on the field, in your graveyard, and or your face-up banished cards, which is insane. So this deck, like I said, does a lot of banishing the cards. So if I have a bunch of cards banished, I just use Thunder Dragon Fusion, grab those cards that are banished, and then shuffle them back into my deck, bring out Titan. I'll be able to use those other cards again, which is insane. And then when this card is like already used, it's the next turn, or your turn during your main phase, except this turn, the card is sent to the graveyard. You can banish this card from the graveyard and add one Thunder Monster from your deck to your hand. You can only use this effect and each of the effect once per turn, which is pretty awesome. So definitely running 3 of those bad boys for sure. Now, I'm also running 3 instant fusions, and I'll definitely talk about the card that I'm using for this instant fusion. So what this card does is pay 1,000 life points and special summon 1 level 5 or lower fusion monster from your extra deck, but it can't attack. Also, it is destroyed during the end phase. So you might be like, whoa, what the heck? No, dude, this card is awesome, and it actually brings out your Titan. And I'll definitely explain how when we get into our extra deck. So 3 instant fusions. Now, 3 Allure of Darkness. Allure of Darkness, draw 2 cards, then banish 1 dark monster from your hand, or if you do not have any in your hand, send your entire hand to the graveyard. So before I use this card, I always make sure I have a dark monster in my hand, and then I'll use it. Draw 2, and banish 1 dark, and then typically, if it's a Thunder Dragon Dark or a Thunder Dragon Roar, I can pop its effects, which is awesome. So there's 3 Allure. I am running, boom, 1 Gold Sarcophagus. And what Gold Sarcophagus does is banish 1 card from your deck face up during your second standby phase after this card's activation, add that card to your hand. And I typically send Roar I typically send Roar banished. I typically banish Roar. I typically banish Roar so I can special summon a monster, link it off for something pretty big, and then if it's still there after my second standby phase, I just add it back to my hand. Let's go. All right, that is Roar, and then just of course OG Monster Reborn. Just pop that back into my hand. Target 1 monster in either player graveyard and special summon it, just to bring a body on the board and continue my combos or my plays. By the way, Instant Fusion and Allure of Darkness is also in that Shaddoll Structure deck that we went over last week. These cards are awesome, especially for this Thunder Dragon deck. And like I said, Shaddoll Structure deck, only $10, and you get 41 cards, and then Instant Fusion that comes in it. And then this Thunder Dragon deck is not very expensive at all. Each card is $1 or $2, making the entire thing maybe $40-ish for the core set or less. And then we have Foolish Burial as another spell card. Send 1 monster from your deck to the graveyard just to continue our combo plays, especially if you have Hawk in your hand and you just play this. You bring out Roar, you send Hawk to the graveyard, and then you special summon Roar, and then you can essentially normal summon, get rid of Roar, use Roar's effect, and bring out another monster. So it's just continuous. Freaking love it. Twin Twisters. Discard 1 card and target up to 2 spell or trap cards on the field and destroy them. Peace out. And that's just sending another Thunder Dragon monster or just another card in general to the graveyard. And then last but not least, my last spell card, we are going Pot of Avarice. So like 5 monsters from your graveyard and then add them to your hand, or excuse me, add them to your deck and then shuffle it. After that, draw 2 cards from your deck. So I love drawing cards. I want to continue keep having cards in my hand, and Pot of Avarice does it, especially when I'm sending a bunch of cards to my graveyard. Definitely have 5, most of the time, 5 monsters in my graveyard. And this is another card, actually, this and Twin Twisters and Pot of Avarice is in the Shaddoll Structure deck. That's why I said the Shaddoll Structure deck is so important, so good. Now, let's go ahead and go into the trap cards. I am actually playing one Solemn Strike. Gotta stop people from playing their decks, making their combos, and so I can just break their board next turn. So when a monster would be special summon or a monster effect is activated, pay 1,500, negate the summoner activation, and if you do, destroy that card. Yeah, let's go. Solemn Judgment is OP, but it's definitely a cost. When a monster would be summoned or special summoned, or excuse me, Solemn Judgment. When a monster would be summoned or a spell or trap card is activated, pay half of your life points, negate the summon or activation, and if you do, destroy that card. Same thing with Strike. It's used to stop people's plays so they don't continue to destroy us. Crackdown. I love this card. So Crackdown, activate by targeting one face-up monster your opponent controls. Take control of that monster. While you control that monster, it cannot attack or activated effects. It's pretty much like a shield. That's what I like to think about it. So I grab one of their monsters, and it's a shield, and I can link it off for something even better. And then when I link it off, their card's destroyed and sent to the graveyard, which is pretty awesome. So that is it for my monsters and my spell. Let's go ahead and jump right into the extra deck. Perfect. Boom. Extra deck. So I am playing, looks like 14 cards in my extra deck. So it looks like I'm playing 14 cards in my extra deck. I am playing one Linkuriboh, and Linkuriboh has been awesome. The reason why I play one Linkuriboh is because I also play one Thousand Eyes Restrict, and I bring out Thousand Eyes Restrict when I absolutely need to, and I'm going second maybe, and I have Instant Fusion in my hand. I activate Instant Fusion, bring out Thousand Eyes Restrict in defense position, activate Thousand Eyes effect to target one monster and equip it, and then I'll link it off, peace out Thousand Eyes, and peace out to whatever I was equipped to it, and that gets destroyed. So that gets rid of someone's monster, and I have a link one and a little area that I can eventually put my Titan in. And if someone tries to attack Linkuriboh, dude, if someone tries to attack me, have fun, because I can just tribute it. I can just pretty much tribute it off, so Linkuriboh. When an opponent monster declares an attack, you can tribute this card, change that opponent's monster's attack to 0 until the end of this turn, which is pretty awesome. Like, good luck attacking any of my monsters when this guy's on the field, because I'll just be like, okay, I'll just tribute off, make your attack 0, have fun. And that's 2 cards that I'm doing in my extra deck right now. I am actually running 2 Summoners. Love that name, Summoners. So what some summoners do, I need 2 Thunder Dragon monsters to be able to bring this bad boy out. 2 Thunder monsters, not 2 Thunder Dragon monsters. And then once per turn, I can quick effect. You can discard 1 card and target 1 Thunder monster in your graveyard, except a Link monster, and special summon it to a zone that this card points to. Honestly, I don't even use that effect very much. I kind of just like Link 2 to activate my Thunder Dragon monsters effects, and they pop off. But still an awesome card, and it still gives you essentially Link arrows, so I can bring out my Titan. But as soon as Master Rule 5 pops off, dude, I think this deck is going to be pretty fun, especially when I don't even need Link monsters to bring out my Titans. I also run 1 B-Comp from the Underworld. B-Comp, the reason why I have this in my deck is because it's a Link 2, and I need 2 monsters, and it can be any 2 monsters, and it has Link arrows pointing down on each side, so I can bring out Titan here, or just any fusion monsters in general. Just pretty much actually any extra deck monster now that it has a Link card to point to. So there is that. And then I'm running a little mini Nightmare package here. I got Nightmare Phoenix going on. What Nightmare Phoenix does is it just needs 2 monsters with different names. If this card is Link Summon, you can discard 1 card, then target 1 spell or trap your opponent controls and destroy it. Get rid of those cards that I just absolutely hate that destroy my deck. I honestly can't really think of a lot of cards that would. I know there's like a Spellcaster continuous spell card that absolutely doesn't allow me to use my spell cards, and that drives me insane. Try to get rid of it with Nightmare Phoenix. And then I have Nightmare Unicorn. This is a Link 3, and it's 2+ monsters with different names, so it doesn't have to be 3 or 4, it can just be straight up 2, and as long as it equals out to a Link 3. And if this card is linked somebody, you can discard 1 card, then target 1 card on the field, return it to the deck. Then if this card was co-linked, which is actually kind of hard to do when I usually play, when this effect is activated, you can draw 1 card, and then there's some additional effects, but I actually only use that card to essentially pop a card. Now, a little bit more expensive here, I do run Borrelsword Dragon. So Borrelsword, what this bad boy does, it cannot be destroyed by battle. Once per turn, quick effect. You can target 1 attack monster and change it to defense position. Also, this card can make a 2nd attack during each battle phase this turn. So essentially, what this card does is, let's say, let's just use this as a regular monster, not a link monster. If I have that attack, I'll attack with this random monster here. I'll attack with Borrelsword, then quick effect, put this bad boy in defense. Now Borrelsword can make a 2nd attack, which is freaking OP. So if you just want to win quick and just want to get rid of an easier opponent that doesn't stop Borrelsword from coming out, definitely recommend getting Borrelsword. Borrelsword is a little bit expensive. That's probably one of the most expensive cards in my deck. He is running around 25, but there is one more card, a Link 3, that I have that's more expensive than Borrelsword, and that is my BLS. And I got blessed by pulling BLS at one of my 2nd ever tournaments. BLS needs 3 monsters with different names. If this card was link summoned using a level 7 or higher monster as material, your opponent cannot target it with card effects. Also, cannot be destroyed by battle by your opponent's card effects. When this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle, you can activate one of these effects. This card can gain 1500 attack, making it 4500. This card can make a 2nd attack during your battle phase of your next turn, or just banish 1 card on the field. I absolutely love this card. This card is running around $80, $75, $80 right now. If you absolutely want this card, definitely get it, but it's not necessary to play this deck at all. All right, so a few more cards here. Now we're going to go nothing but fusion cards. We already talked about one fusion card, that's Thousand Eyes Restrict. Now for a Super Poly, I'm not siding in any Super Polys right now. Definitely recommend siding in some Super Polys, especially against Shaddolls. This right here is a Starving Venom Fusion Dragon. This card is freaking awesome, especially if you're going against zombies or anything that uses dark monsters on the field. So it requires 2 dark monsters on the field. If this card is fusion summoned, you can make this card attack gain equal to 1 opponent's special summon monster until the end of this turn. Once per turn, you can target 1 level 5 or higher monster your opponent controls until the end phase. This card's name becomes that monster's original name and replace the effect with this monster's original effect. If this fusion summon card is destroyed, you can destroy all your opponent's special summon monsters. This card can get pretty crazy, and actually a lot of people forget about that last effect. So if you're running this card, don't forget about that last effect. Okay, so we got the link monsters out the way, and we got one of our fusion monsters. Now we're talking about one more fusion monster right here before we get into the big boy, and that is Kaminari Attack. Kaminari Attack doesn't really have any effects, but the reason why I have it is because I use Instant Fusion, because he is a level 5 or lower fusion monster, and I'm able to bring him out, and if I have a Thunder Dragon monster in my hand, I can banish the Thunder Dragon monster and Kaminari effect to bring out our boy Thunder Dragon Titan. And that's what this deck is all about, bringing out this bad boy, this freaking stud. This freaking stud of a monster. Look at this. 3200 attack, 3200 defense. Look at all them levels. I'm not even going to count that. So what does it need? If you have our Thunder Dragon Fusion, then we need 3 Thunder Dragon monsters. But if you have Kaminari Attack, because he is a Thunder, and you have 1 Thunder Dragon monster in your hand, check this out. Must either be fusion summoned or special summoned by banishing 1 Thunder monster from your hand and 1 Thunder fusion monster you control, except Thunder Dragon Titan, in which case you do not need polymerization. When a Thunder monster's effect is activated in the hand, even during the damage step, what I can do is, if I'm using a quick effect in my hand, like Thunder Dragon Dark, it says quick effect. I can quick effect, send it to the graveyard, and add another one to my hand. If I do that, for one example, I can say, do you have a response? And if they don't have a response, I can chain this, quick effect it. You can destroy one card on the field, and if this card would be destroyed by card effects, you can banish 2 cards from the graveyard instead. So the most important thing right here is how to break people's board. Is if I send one or use a quick effect in my hand using a Thunder Monsters effect, I can destroy 1 card on the field if they don't have a response. And honestly, most of the time, most people don't have a response, and I'm able to just continue popping cards. And this is not once per turn. I can continuously do it, and I feel so bad for some people because I just break their boards, and then I just attack for 3,200. And then if I have more than one on the field because of these Link monsters and because I have multiple ways to bring them out, have fun. Have fun. I feel bad. And then the last effect, I already read it, but let me go ahead and clarify it. If this card would be destroyed by card effects, I can banish 2 cards from the graveyard instead. It's any 2 cards in the graveyard, just 1 rando, and maybe if I want to continue my combos, I can send a Thunder Dragon from the graveyard and banish it and just continue my combos. This deck is so much fun. It's some people say it's broken right now, but I got 7th out of 30 players in my locals, going 3-1-1. I beat 2 Shaddolls, 1 Grand Maju, and let's see here, I tied with an Altergeist player. That was one of the funnest games I've ever had my entire life. And then I lost to a Cyber Dragon Kaiju mix, and I just did not know how to play against it, and we paid the piper, but that was still a fun one. So that is my 15 deck extra deck, because I brought out BLS. Okay, so most expensive card right there, definitely just the BLS. Everything else is not very expensive at all, because Colossus got banned. This went down. This is only a few cents. This card is not very expensive. Maybe it's a few dollars. There's so many rarities of it. If you pick up Gold Sarcophagus, then these cards are in there and you can pull that. Gold Sarcophagus was a great tin back in 2019, and this was about $20, but there's some great cards. And the Thunder Dragon cards are in there as well if you just want to try to get lucky. Now I'm running a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 extra deck. And let's go ahead and jump right into it. I am running 3 Ash Blossoms. Ash Blossom is a great hand trap. Pretty much what it does, if your opponent's it's doing any of these effects, add a card from your deck to your hand, special summon from the deck, or send a card from deck to the graveyard. I can just be like, nah, quick effect, send this card to the graveyard and negate anything they're trying to do, and it's pretty much stops their plays. And I feel bad, but it is what it is. I am also running 2 Nibiru's. Nibiru is a great hand trap as well. I call it a hand trap. Pretty much what it does, if your opponent special summons or normal summons 5 or more monsters this turn, I can quick effect, get rid of their entire board pretty much, and then special summon him. And he's a 3,000 beater. The only downside is you give him a token, and the token on your opponent's field, it essentially becomes 1 giant beater, and you have to have a way to get rid of that card with, like, so if I have Titan on the field for some reason and they make a giant board, I can like quick effect a Thunder card from my hand and then pop that token, for example. But I run 2 of those for decks like Heroes, Guard Dragons, anything that just spams the crap out of the board, essentially. And Spirals in today's metagame is one of them that just spawns and summons a bunch of monsters. I'm also running 2 Artifact Lancias. Artifact Lancia, what it pretty much do, it's another hand trap. So pretty much what I can do is, if it's in my hand, I can quick effect, I can tribute this card from my hand or face up on the field, and neither player can banish cards for the rest of this turn. This card kind of destroys my deck, not gonna lie, but if I use it on other people's, like a mirror match, hey, that's just a plus for me. That's what I use Artifact Lancia for. Now, another expensive card is going to be Chaos Dragon Levineer, and I just use this card just for an OP. What it does is, it cannot be normal or set, must be first special summoned from your hand by banishing 3 light and or dark monsters from your graveyard. When summoned this way, you can apply these effects based on the attributes of the monster banished for the special summon. Also, this card cannot attack for the rest of the turn if you use these effects. So I banished maybe 2 light and 1 dark, and I'm able to, let's see right here, destroy up to 2 cards on the field. Not monsters, cards. So I can destroy any of their cards my opponent controls, or even mine. If I'm only banishing 3 dark monsters, shuffle 1 random card from your opponent's hand into the deck. That's pretty fun. Or if I'm banishing only 3 lights, special summon 1 monster from your graveyard in defense position. I actually really do like enjoying banishing 1, just light and dark in general, and I'm able to destroy 2 cards on the field. And I'll only activate, you can only use this effect of Chaos Dragon Levineer once per turn. So this card, about a $20 card. When I actually bought it, this is the most expensive card I've ever bought. I've actually only spent, that's the most expensive card I ever bought. It's $20 for 1 card. And I don't even use it in my Bane deck. I know, I suck. Now, I, for some reason, get super lucky when I play Yu-Gi-Oh! I don't know why. I love it, but you saw it, if you saw it, Ignition Assault, I pulled Lightning Storm. I freaking love Lightning Storm. This is what made me tie with Altergeist, because I was able to win the first game. He won the second game. We tied our third game. So if you control no face-up monsters, activate one of these effects. And when I was going against Altergeist, a big back row deck, I just popped this card right here, destroy all attack, or excuse me, I can either destroy all attack position monsters your opponent controls, or destroy all spell and trap your opponent controls. And I can only activate one of these bad boys per turn, but still, this card absolutely broken. I absolutely love it. It's great, and if you can afford it, it's about $130 right now. And I definitely recommend picking up 3 of them, but I'm only rocking 1 with my broke ass. Boom, another Twin Twisters, just to get rid of that, continue to get rid of that back row. Like I said, a lot of decks stop this deck with spell cards, or just pretty much if you have an effect that stops this deck, try to do your best to get rid of it with Lightning Storm, Twin Twisters, or anything like that. Let's see, I think that was the last spell card. Now I'm going to go ahead and do traps. I'm running 2 evenly matched. So evenly matched, at the end of the battle phase, if your opponent controls more cards than you do, you can make your opponent banish from their field face down, so they control the same number of cards as you do. If you control no cards, you can activate this card from your hand. So if I'm going second and they make a big old board, what I can do is be like, all right, draw phase, standby phase, main phase, battle phase, and then end of battle phase in my hand, I can just play evenly matched, and these poor guys have to banish everything but 1 card face down. I feel so bad every time I use this card, but it's a freaking broken card. And then main phase 2, I can make my board, and they can have a good time trying to destroy it. So definitely running 2 of those. I only have 2 of those, and I paid for 1 of them. That was about $14, and then I was gifted the other one, which is a freaking blessing. And then they're running at about $30 right now. Now, one more. I actually have 2 more, but another one that's great against Altergeist is Red Reboot. When your opponent activates a trap card, negate that activation. If you do, set that card face down. Then they can set 1 other trap directly from your deck for the rest of this turn. After this card resolves, your opponent cannot activate trap cards. You can activate this card from your hand by paying half your life points. I typically never do that last one. I typically just like, hey, I got red reboot. Slide that down. They activate a trap card on their turn. I'm like, oh man, I'm so sorry, but I'm gonna have to negate that. And yeah, you can go ahead and set that back down. But they get the plus of being able to set another trap card from their deck face down, but they can't use trap cards for the rest of their turns, which is great for me because then they can't continue their plays, especially if against Ultra guys. So that is actually a card that's only was limited to only one, and there's a couple of reasons for that, but I won't get into it right now. And then my last card is Compulsory Evacuation Device. Freaking love this card. So I typically just keep this card face down, and then once somebody like brings out a Boral Sword or something, a big boss monster from the extra deck, I'm just like, all right, man, I don't want that sauce. I don't want to deal with it. I can target one monster in the field and return that target to their hand, because it's not destroying it, and a lot of cards say they can't be destroyed by card effects. This isn't destroying it, it's just sending it back to your hand. I'm just being petty. And that's it. That is my Thunder Dragon deck that I am running. I absolutely love this deck so much. It is so much fun. It is freaking boss. But thank you guys so much for watching. If you stick through it, Yu-Gi-Oh! Has been a blast since I started. I've only started in September, so it's been about six, seven months now. September, October, November, December, January, February. Oh man, it's only been like 5 or 6 months. So love this game. I fell in love with it immediately. I've put a few dollars in there. I'm not gonna lie to you, but it's been a blast. But definitely hit that like button if you like what you saw. Definitely hit that subscribe button. You guys have been freaking awesome. Thank you so much for the support so far. I think we're at like 63 subscribers at the beginning of this video, of the time of recording. Definitely share with your friends. Let's continue to grow this Yu-Gi-Oh community, because this game is doing some big things, and I love being a part of it, and the people I've met so far have been freaking awesome. So definitely hit that subscribe button, that notification bell, and smash that like button. Thank you guys so much, and remember, go beyond plus ultra. Thank you guys.